Hello, kings, queens, and monarchs of every element. I'm RJ the Jank Monarch, and today, to close out our week of Cube Draft content, I want to show you how to build and draft your own cubes over at YGOProDeck.com. This is one of the most comprehensive websites I could imagine us having in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is so cool that it has a great cube draft function in it. If you don't know what cubes are a custom collection of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, much like this one, from which you pull random packs that each player drafts and passes around until there are no cards left in the draft and each player has enough cards to build themselves a deck. It's one of the best formats in card games, period, and it's one that is exploding in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene. If you have already seen Duel Knight by Team Samurai X1, if you've already seen Master Cube with Hard Leg Gaming, you've seen it in action, and if you've been watching this week on my channel, you've also seen the legendary Edison Cube at work. So today, I want to show you how to use this function, both how to find other people's cubes and take a look at them, how to build your own cubes when you're ready for them, and of course, how to get into a draft. So let's get to that. So first of all, in order to use cubes, you have to be logged in on YGOProDeck.com. And then from there, you go up to the menu, Card Database, Cube Drafting, and it takes you to this wonderful menu of three things. Let's pull that up. You've got Explore Cubes, where you can take a look at other people's cubes. You've got Create Cube, where you can make your own, and My Cubes, where you can look at and edit your own. This is also where you're going to do your drafting from, but let's start with Explore Cubes. Let's check this out. So the first thing you're going to see on the Explore Cubes menu is the top rated cubes in YGO Pro Deck. Right now, the top three are the core set for MBT's rotation format, which is only technically a cube. The classic cube, this is the default cube on YGO Pro Deck, and this is the Edison cube. Now, the Edison cube has undergone a few edits to it. This isn't the final version that's on here, but it's a great place to start. And a few other very, very popular cubes. You can take a look at these cubes by clicking into these double arrows right here. And you can look at both the description. In the classic cube, it is a classic cube list containing classic Yu-Gi-Oh! There are too many classics in here. Doesn't contain any extra deck. You can take a look at it in list form, but you can also check out image view. This is the way I like to look at these cubes, where you can see each card that's in the cube, and if it has multiples, it will show those in the list. Let's actually take a look at my Edison cube, where you can see one that has multiples in it. There are two ways that you can build a cube. You can build them Highlander style or singleton style. Frequently, people just consider this the default way to make a cube, but in Yu-Gi-Oh! The way I like to do it is allowing a couple of multiples. See how we have X3 here for Alien Ammonite? That's a card that we have multiples of in here. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Likes to have multiples because Yu-Gi-Oh! Likes to create combos, likes to create synergies, and having multiples of cards in there can help, but it's really up to personal preference. And you can do fun things like create special rules for your cube, which you can leave in the description right here. There are a couple of cubes I've checked out that have some really cool rules in the description, and you can check out those rules. If you want to draft a cube, what you can do is, I clicked out of it, so you can't do that. You can actually clone a cube to add it to your own collection. So if you see a cube you like on this menu, you can clone it and then it becomes part of your collection. So let's check out the collections feature over in My Cubes. So here you can see the three cubes I've drafted with on this platform that I have started a draft for. If somebody else starts a draft, it's not going to come from here. So I cloned the classic cube to my cubes, as well as my original Edison cube and the small Edison cube. If you want to try out an easy cube to draft with, this small Edison cube is meant for like 3 to 4 players at most. So you can use this one as well. You can search things by name over on the search database, which I didn't show you. I should probably do now, but you can also hit play here to start a draft. And I'm going to show you that now, just since we're here. So when you start a draft, you are basically going to choose the number of cards you want each player to get. Most cubes have kind of a target number, and it's often based on the number of cards in a cube. So many cubes are made so that each player gets 60 cards in the entire cube. Some people like to even do like 40 to 50. So you have to really, really work with the minimum. And then the pack size is just how many cards are in each round of a pack. So you get a pack, as I showed you in my cube draft video, from which you are drafting cards. And you often do that for multiple rounds to get up to your 60. So if we are doing 60 cards in our draft and 15 cards per pack, that means we are doing 4 rounds of the draft. And you can count also the number of players here, and even give it a pack timer. Once you've done that, it'll give you a link that people can log into YGOProDeck to use and then begin the draft. So here's that draft button, and once you start, this provides us this link. And if someone were to join in by clicking on that link, if you were to copy it into a Discord or something like that, their icon would show up here. And then the order of the pack draft goes along these icons along here. It goes in that order. You can also fill a spot with a bot, which is really cool. If you just want to practice drafting, maybe with a single friend, that's a thing that you can do here. But let's actually go back for a second. I'm going to leave this draft, and I'm going to go back to the Explore section. And in the Explore section, you can actually search. So you can type in like the Edison Cube V1 or small Edison Cube, and you can also sort. So you can sort by the cube size. So if you want to go for a smaller cube because you have fewer players, or you want to go big for that variety or a big party, you can go date. So if you want to see some of the newer things that people are creating, brewing with, you can check it out there. Or views, that's the most popular one. That's the one that we are seeing right now. That is what the current view is. So you can see all the most popular cubes that are on here. And then you can search by singleton or multiple. And you can also put in some filters just for particular cards. I sometimes do this to make sure that it doesn't contain some of those GOAT format Trinity cards. I don't like drafts that have Graceful Charity and Pot of Greed in them. I think they're stupid. You could also search for an author if you want to. And so you can really, really narrow things down on this search. So a lot of great ways to explore the cubes that are on this platform already. But at some point, you're going to get tired of what's already out there, and you're going to want to create a cube yourself. So you can go back to this menu and click Create. And in here, there are a couple of important things. Of course, the cube name. It's very important to give your cube an awesome title so people are more likely to click on it, get in those top views. And you can also choose a thumbnail, which is kind of sick. You can type in the name of a card. So if I put in like Junk Synchron, it shows Junk Synchron right there. And you can click on that, and that'll become the custom or the headline card for the cube. And then you can determine your cube type, singleton or multiple, and then enter your cube description. So this is where you're going to put the intent of the cube, let people know what it's all about, and also let them know if you have any special cube drafting rules. If you want to know about a couple of those options, you can check my original cube drafting video. Next, you have the card menu. This is where you actually go in to type the number of cards you want. I'm actually going to put this into multiple so you can kind of see how this works. So we already mentioned Junk Synchron, so I'm going to type in Junk Synchron, and you can pull up Junk Synchron. And when you do that, you can add it in, and you can see how each Junk Synchron I'm adding is showing up in here. And then you can click on a card in here to delete it again. So you can click on things from this side of the menu to put a card in, and you can click over here to delete them. You can also import sets of cards. So if you have a list like a .ydk, which you can develop in Dueling Book, or a .csv, so that's going to be an Excel file, you can do that as well. And you can also export the list, which is kind of sick. I really like that feature. So the other things you can do here, there are filters, there are card types. There is an entire list of card archetypes here, which is kind of nuts. And card race is an interesting way to put it, but I suppose card monster type is too long to type. I don't know. Anyway, so type is like effect monster, flip monster, normal spell, quick play spell, and card race is like monster type. And then of course, card attribute is the monster attribute. And then you can click Save Cube, and it will save the version of the cube. And you can choose a lot of features when it comes to the description that I haven't even messed around with. And you can also toggle your view from card view to list view. That's pretty much what there is to see about cubing in here. I highly recommend that you check out some of the smaller cubes if you don't have a lot of people to play with, but also if you want to play with more people, my Discord fires off cube nights fairly often, and I am planning on doing some more cube drafting on my stream on Monday, so check that out. And if you want to see some of my opinions on cube drafting, you can check out patreon.com/therjb0, where I do short videos I call RJ Extras, and one of my most recent ones is a rant from me about cards that I really don't like to see in cubes. I really hope that you take the opportunity to explore. Imagine the format you wish you had and then build that into a cube. Or maybe you'll find that somebody else has had the same idea, that you're on the same wavelength in here. I'm planning on doing a lot more cube drafts here, and I hope that you have some fun playing with cubes yourself. Go forward in humble confidence, my friends. I hope you have a great rest of your day.